Ladies, hello and welcome back. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about how to connect with a man's heart in the beginning stages of dating and the two things you might be doing that might be killing his ability to connect with you on an emotional heart-to-heart level. And then finally, I'm going to cover one simple thing you can do to really ignite the connection to his heart and inspire desire that's beyond physical attraction. Because ladies, physical attraction is going to be the easiest thing for a man to connect with in a woman, but you want him to connect with you on an emotional level, right? You want to connect with his heart. Now, one of the topics I cover on my channel is dating and relationship tips influenced by feminine energy. So if you're unfamiliar with feminine energy, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my videos that cover topics using feminine energy. Also, subscribe so you don't miss my upcoming video, Ultimate Guide on How to Connect with a Man. That's going to be a good one, so you definitely don't want to miss that one. All right, so first, I want to paint a picture of what a date might look like when a woman hasn't connected to a man's heart, all right? So you meet for the date. He's attracted to you, you're attracted to him, the conversation's flowing, you feel like everything's going great. The energy's great, you're both fully engaged in the conversation, you're both talking a lot about different things, and you're like, wow, we're really having a great conversation. And then the date's over, and he'll text you here and there. Maybe you'll go out on a second, third, maybe even a fourth date, and then boom, he fizzles off and stops pursuing you. And you're left confused because nothing significantly bad happened, right? To you, it seemed like you were both connecting. I mean, your conversations are flowing, right? Wrong. Now, before I get into the two things that you may be doing that's killing his ability to emotionally connect with you, here's something super important to understand. And this is what can change your dating life, because making sure you connect with a man properly in the beginning is so important, because just as much as we women know where to place a man rather quickly, a man also knows pretty quickly where he wants to place you in his life. So here it is. Men don't connect with women based on great conversations. They don't connect with women based solely on intellect. Men connect and feel emotional attraction towards a woman through polarity. What, you ask? I'm going to break it down for you. So what is polarity? Polarity is the energy of being complete opposites. And the best example of that is a male and a female. It's nature's best creation of polarity. And that exact polarity is called masculine energy and feminine energy. So imagine a puzzle with magnets attached to the ends. Now imagine two insanely polar opposite puzzle pieces that get magnetized and pulled together only when each piece is fully present in their own energy, the masculine or feminine energy. And the magnets don't work if each piece isn't fully in their own energy. That's polarity. Two totally opposite energies fitting together to create balance. That's magnetic heart-to-heart chemistry. So when a man is dating to search his other half, he's literally dating to find his missing puzzle piece. It's like his magnet is buzzing around, trying to feel the pull of his missing puzzle piece. And when he feels that strong polar energy in a woman with high vibing feminine energy, his masculine instinct recognizes it. And his magnet goes, aha, my missing piece. And click, he pulls towards it. And that's when he gets naturally magnetized and emotionally drawn to that woman and wants to bond with her. But in order for this to happen, a woman has to be fully present in her feminine energy during the beginning stages of dating. And ladies, this is super important. Being drop dead gorgeous and dressed impeccably feminine and smelling girly doesn't mean you're fully in feminine energy, all right? You can look beautiful and wear skirts for days, but still be in full masculine energy mode. It's not all about how you look or dress, all right? So going back to what are the two things that might be killing a man's ability to connect with you in the beginning stages of dating, the answers are, number one, very heady, intellectually based conversations and or debate-based conversations. And if you're the girl boss, Miss Independent types, you might be doing this really, really well, naturally. And number two, you leading and driving the conversation. All right, so number one, Why could very heady, intellectually based conversations be killing his ability to connect with you emotionally? The answer is because men can have this type of conversation with anyone and everyone, and he does. Every single day, all throughout his day. He's literally on autopilot to have this type of conversation with everyone, to always be in control, to build, work, think, to always be in his head. So the last thing he wants to do is have the same type of conversation, to be in the same autopilot mode, to be in his head with a woman he feels physical attraction to and wants romance with. Why? Because again, he's in his head all the time. It's stressful for him in there. It's flat out ordinary for him up there. So when he's having this type of conversation with a woman, there's no contrasting energy to shake him out of that very familiar, very typical, mundane autopilot mode he's in, which again is in his head, a place he shares with everyone. And when you interact with him at this level, you, simply by association, can get categorized in the everyone category. It's that simple. You get placed in that category by association of energy. And you don't want to be placed in the everyone category, right? You want to be placed in the special category. You want him to see you as someone refreshing, different, exciting, someone special, right? And ladies, I'm not saying you can't be smart. Men appreciate smart women, right? And they enjoy good conversation. But it's very important that in the beginning stages of dating, to limit or stay away from very heady, intellect-based debates and conversations, because this, again, engages his head and not his heart. And when you first engage with his head, this is what can happen. He'll still like you and he'll find you interesting because, it's nice to have great conversations with someone, right? And he might even sleep with you because he's sexually attracted to you. And he'll text you and take you out on a few more dates. But then he'll start to feel like something's missing. He really likes you and thinks you're super hot, but there's something missing that he can't quite put a finger on. He doesn't feel this deep desire, this deep pull to get closer to you and bond with you. So he starts to disconnect from you. He feels some sort of block that he can't figure out. So he'll start fizzing out and eventually move on. So how can a man see you as someone special? You connect with his heart, not his head. And I'll explain how you can do that after I go over reason number 2 of how you might be killing a man's ability to connect with you. So moving on, we have number 2, leading and driving the conversation and progress of the date. Asking and starting off all the questions, leading the conversation with subjects that need to have an answer for everything or requires a debate, or subjects that show off your problem-solving skills, stuff like that. And again, if you're the girl boss, Miss Independent type, this is something you might naturally do very well, but you're in fact killing a man's ability to connect with you emotionally. Why? Because leading and directing is masculine energy. And a masculine man is not going to connect with a masculine woman long-term on a heart-to-heart level, no matter how beautiful she looks. Because again, going back to the 2 matching puzzle pieces I talked about earlier, it's all about polarity. And the stronger you can vibrate your polar opposite energy, which is your feminine energy, the more he'll be drawn to you and feel a magnetic pull to bond with you. Because again, he doesn't want to engage with a woman romantically in the same way he engages with everyone else in his life. Ladies, all a man wants to feel with a woman he's interested in is pleasure. Pleasure emotionally, mentally, and physically. Why? Because men don't operate and communicate like us women do, right? We have the ability to talk about our feelings like it's a hobby. We are always feeling and sharing those feelings with our family, friends, hairdresser, manicurist, work colleagues, etc., etc. Feelings and sharing our feelings, it's so natural to us. And being inside our body, laughing, dancing, crying, getting pampered, at the spa, feeling, it's so natural and more easy for us. And most of us can switch between being intellectual to being back in our body and feeling emotions deeply inwardly and outwardly easily. But is not quite the same for most men. In fact, they get their biggest inspiration to tap into that softer, emotional, imaginative part of themselves through a woman. The pleasure side of themselves is accessed through a woman. And there's nothing he wants more than to escape being in his mind and in his stressful head. So, when a man meets a woman who presents herself and interacts with him with the head, the debate, the intellect, the masculine side of her first, it doesn't tap into his pleasure department that his heart so desperately wants to connect with. Does that make sense? So what's the solution for both 1 and 2? Play. Seriously, it's that simple. Play. In the beginning stages of dating, talk a little less and play more. This is how you connect with a man's heart. And there's nothing more bonding than play. Why? Because playing comes straight from the heart. It's the most primal action that allows us to feel pleasure and curiosity and to bond. I mean, think about it, right? As babies, it was our first experience in bonding emotionally. We did it with our parents since the minute we were born, and then with friends on the playground, right? We bonded with some of the most important people in our early lives through play. So it really taps into a very special and intimate part of ourselves for both men and women. It feels spontaneous, exciting, youthful, and alive. And it's the polar opposite of being in the head, right? Thinking, planning, being in control. And play and pleasure is what feminine energy is all about. And this is the missing puzzle piece to his polar masculine energy. And this is the contrasting energy that shakes him out of his head and into his heart. Because again, play only comes from the heart. And when he realizes that he can tap into and open his heart when he's with you, this makes him think, oh wow, this feels different. She's different. I'm different when I'm with her. I want more of her so I can feel more of this. And he starts to feel this deep desire to be closer to you, connect with you, and bond with you. And when the heart-to-heart attraction gets activated, this is what leads a man to want to know and understand you more on a deeper level. And with time, connect with you both emotionally and intellectually, and eventually fall in love with you. So in the beginning, be playful, flirty, sensual, and be present. When he starts to talk and share things, really be still, present, and listen to him with warmth. You don't have to jump in and chime in with a thought or solution or, opinion when he's talking. Just relax and be present and just truly listen with warmth. Ladies, you really don't need to do too much. Less is more. Always be in your feminine energy when you're with a man you want romance with. Trust him to lead. Let your date take you to the next question, the next flow of the date. If you're at a restaurant and there's dancing and you want to dance, instead of asking him to dance, which is leading masculine energy, express what you're feeling in your body with something like, oh wow, this song really makes me want to move my body. And sway playfully in your chair as you make eye contact with him. His masculine drive should take that cue and ask you to dance. Then lean back, relax, and observe if he exercises his masculinity and leads you to the dance floor. And if he does, let him lead you to the dance floor. And when you get there, totally just melt into the moment and melt into him and be completely and totally present. Be playful, flirty, be present with him, in him. Seriously, ladies, in the beginning stages of dating, talk a little less and be more present through your body language, your feelings, and through your warmth, instead of through your words and your thoughts. Being a little bit mysterious and not being a complete open book is totally fine. Being centered, sensual, and slightly mysterious is very feminine. Let him discover you, unwrap you. You don't have to eagerly talk your head off and reveal everything to try to connect with him. Let him tie the rope to connect with you. Let him discover you through your playfulness, your ability to be present and relaxed. Tap into and show him your heart first so he can feel inspired and safe to show you his heart. He wants to show you his heart. Sometimes he simply doesn't know how because he's constantly in his head. It's such a familiar place for him up there. And this is why throughout history, a woman is referred to as a man's muse. That's because a woman is a man's companion, a gateway into his own heart. So to connect with the man's heart, present your heart to him first through the feminine energy of play. Ladies, if you enjoyed this video, I ask you take 2 seconds to like the video and comment below. It costs nothing to you except sharing good vibes. It also supports my channel and helps YouTube share this with more people who may need it, right? Also hit subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I cover all things to help create a life of peace, clarity, and happiness by tapping into self-love, self-acceptance, and harnessing power through life challenges. I also cover relationship and dating tips influenced by feminine energy. And check out these videos here. And I'll see you next Friday. Bye.